Hi Mark. So I've had a good think about the shower today. This is the current situation. This is the inside, this is the outside, and we have this bar sending water out into the room and some kind of ineffective seal on that somewhere on that slope. Um, I've had a tried to remember what we did with one of these before. I'm sure we've addressed one of these before, and I think this top bit, the visible bit, is a pressed steel shroud which is siliconed into place, and you can, with a lot of sort of slicing of knives and things, you can prise that off. Underneath is a bar that is siliconed and screwed to the floor. Now the important thing to note there is I strongly suspect there are screw holes into this floor. So we've either got to put the bar back or put something on that covers in this position. So the first thing I'm going to suggest we do is we attempt to lift this bar off and reverse it. So that's going to give us this appearance. Now I've looked at a variety of different seals, and I think the simplest thing to do is there's a couple we can try, but I suspect the simplest thing is, by the way, this is an exact model. You've got 17 millimeters from the edge of that glass to the floor. This is approximately 10 by 10 with that slope cut into that face. I don't think there's any point trying to create a seal. We've got a perfectly good barrier there, and if we can have water the right side of this barrier, it will stop water going out into the outside of the shower. That's what's gone wrong previously. This is sending water to the outside. We need to send it to the inside. So a shape which allows water, the water will pour down here, and as long as it drips off of this fin and onto that slope, we're laughing. It should end up on the right side of the room. The fact that we may or may not be able to create an exact seal there, I think is academic. I don't think it's going to make any difference. We also have to remember that this fin has to, as the door opens, this is the opening edge, this is the hinge edge, this fin has to move over that bar. So it has to be very, very close in terms of height. That point there has to be very close to that point there, and it will need changing over time. Eventually this sort of soft rubber fin will get worn out and knocked away. Step one, try and take this off and switch it round. That's what I recommend. There are other fin designs we can look at. This one is probably worth looking at because it will get water to run down here and flick off into the shower, and it may give us a decent seal on the bottom, but it may make the door very, very difficult to open, and this leg of this double fin may not work moving over the top edge of that floor bar. So I think it's worth buying a length of that and playing with it, but I think we're going to end up with a much simpler design. Now if we take this off and we can't reverse it, or we damage it or something like that, in all the time I've been at Rathbone, I have not been able to find this floor bar anywhere except in situ at Rathbone. There is an alternative design which we've used quite a few of in the past. It's a simple polished aluminium shape which you basically just silicon to the floor, and you have to leave weights on it and sort of leave it there overnight. It's slightly higher. This point is higher than the existing one, so it gives you more problems getting fins over it. This design certainly wouldn't work, so let's get rid of that and put back the much simpler fin. If we have to use this floor bar, it's going to have to cover possible holes in the floor which are from the original floor bar, which is why I want to use the original. But it's a good product and we've used it before. Now, as an absolute belt and braces, if we zoom out a little bit, this isn't an exact model of the bathroom in 217, it's just a very, very similar Rathbone bathroom I happen to have. You've got the bedroom starting here. Now, what I recommend, regardless of what we're able to achieve here, is that we put one of these floor bars. It is a nice product. It's, you know, it's got a nice sort of polished aluminium look to it. I think we should create a new threshold here, because there will be little bits of leakage on these corners. However well you mitre the new seals, we're going to get some leakage here. We're going to get a little pool here. It's going to creep round this corner and it's going to go onto the carpet. I've seen it before. I've seen a whole carpet completely rotted through here. So it's not, you know, aesthetically it's not ideal, but I think it's going to save an awful lot of pain to put a new decorative threshold there. And let's just see what we can do with the original threshold here. Okay, thanks for listening.